At the NFL trade deadline, the Miami Dolphins acquired linebacker Bradley Chubb from the Broncos. Denver will receive a 2023 first-round pick from the Dolphins via the 49ers. The Broncos will also receive a 2024 fourth-round pick and running back Chase Edmonds. The Bills made a move to bolster their already potent offense, getting running back Nyheim Hines from the Colts. Buffalo will send running back Zach Moss and a conditional 2023 sixth-round pick to Indianapolis. Hines spent the first 5 years of his career with Indy. He'll now join a backfield featuring Devin Singletary and James Cook in Buffalo. Some other notable trades from a hectic day in the NFL. The Vikings got tight end TJ Hawkinson from the NFC North rivals Lions. The Falcons sent receiver Calvin Ridley to the Jaguars. He's out for at least this season for gambling on NFL games. And the Bears made another move. They got wideout Chase Claypool from the Steelers for a second-round pick.
And of course, this year's NFL trade deadline did not disappoint. A record 12 players traded on deadline day. That is the most in the last 30 years. Let's welcome in Ryan Harris to grade the trades and talk about the biggest winners and losers from yesterday. So Ryan, starting off with Bradley Chubb to Miami. Chubb, who has 5.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles so far this season. How much better are the Dolphins with a pass rusher like Chubb?
They are Super Bowl contenders now, Jacqueline. Look out. I mean, the 29th ranked defense in terms of yards gets a huge boost from Bradley Chubb, not just in his pass rush, but also in how dominant he has been against the run. I have a Super Bowl championship from the impact of defensive ends, so never overlook how impactful they can be. And this trade really happened for a couple of reasons. Number one, the Broncos weren't willing to trust the production as there have been some health issues with Chubb. And then number two, they needed a first-round pick next year, and they also wanted to get some additional draft capital. And then if you're the Dolphins, right now, you've just told your entire team you are in it to win it. They also got Jeff Wilson from the 49ers, but Bradley Chubb now brings a dynamic pass-rushing ability to the Dolphins and can steward a young defensive end at the same time that the Dolphins have on their roster. So a great get for both teams, and the Broncos get Chase Edmonds as well in that deal.
And Ryan, someone else who is a serious Super Bowl contender, the Buffalo Bills, beating the clock, getting Nyheim Hines from the Colts with just 3 minutes to spare before the deadline. How does Hines' skill set complement the hot streak that the Bills are already on?
Well, they get a player with urgency. Nyheim Hines has been a great running back, really hasn't been able to shine behind Jonathan Taylor, and is still, even this year, averaging 4 yards per carry, but's only been able to get in the offense 18 times. So perhaps something behind the scenes was different. But we know the Bills were also trying to get McCaffrey in that trade earlier in the trade window. But they're happy to get Nyheim Hines, somebody who will be a quality depth player that also comes in with the urgency of a veteran who knows what it's like to lose with an opportunity to win. So you have a pronounced run game that will only have more depth, and you get some extra time to get that defense some rest with a run game like the one that the Bills are going to have. And yes, Jacqueline, they are going to the Super Bowl too.
And Ryan, obviously, I'm sure you know this, yesterday was just absolute madness. I loved CBS Sports tweeted out, report everyone is being traded for everybody. And I felt that tweet in my soul. We talked about it off the top, 12 players traded on deadline day. So to you, does it feel like the NFL is becoming more like baseball with these fire sales and such? Or is this just a one-time thing unique to this season?
This is a seismic shift in the NFL and what they look at in terms of how to build a roster. I mean, even 2 years ago, the NFL trade deadline was kind of like oh yeah, there's a deadline, but nothing really happens. Typically, it used to only be compensatory picks or things like that would be traded. But now you're seeing teams actively use the trade deadline to go and get players. The other thing going on here that a lot of fans miss, this is the effect of having that fifth-year option. A lot of the players that were traded are not going to have 5 years with the original team, Bradley Chubb being the first one that comes to mind. So he was looking at a big payday. And now when teams take that risk and say, no, we're not going to pay you that big fifth-year salary, and then players outperform, you're going to see a lot of movement. And also you see the Steelers making moves, the Bears making moves. We all thought they were crazy getting rid of Robert Quinn. Well, then they went and got Chase Claypool. So a lot of moving parts, but make no mistake, this is new to the NFL, and it's here to stay.
All right, that is Ryan Harris recapping the absolutely crazy deadline day. Thank you so much, Ryan. And of course, make sure that you check out All Things Covered with B-Mac and Patrick Peterson. The guys are going to have plenty to talk about with all of the trade deadline craziness that we saw yesterday.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.